All right. What's up, everybody? Capping at the Bay. Week 1 is upon us in 2 days, actually. Uh, Patrick Grigsby is here. I told him to put on some Chiefs gear because we got Chiefs versus Lions. Like I said, coming up in 2 days, starting off the NFL season. Uh, dude, I'm more stoked on fantasy football more than anything, but I know you're pumped about them raising the banner and them starting off the season against apparently an easy win. Do you agree on that?
I don't think it's gonna be. I think the Lions would be a damn good team this year. I mean, I got them winning their division, even with you know James Williams being out the first couple of weeks. It'll be tough. It's a nasty offense, and their defense can't be worse, right? What they were last year can't be worse. So yeah, no, they're gonna be a good team, man. We'll see what happens with Travis Kelsey. I know he came back today. They said it was negative on the ACL. They're going to retest Wednesday. I mean,
Yeah, they
he put the ball out. Mahomes is the best at it, so I ain't too worried about it.
yeah,
And
they
Josh,
mentioned negative on the ACL part or whatever, but said that there's uh inflammation around the knee, so they gotta retest that, do whatever. But I mean, you have Kelsey may possibly out. You believe in Mahomes to get the job done with mediocre wide receivers?
I mean, he did an AFC Championship when he's missing his top three receivers. So I mean, like I said, he's the best in the league at spread the ball around to everybody. He makes receivers look a lot better than they are. We'll see what McCole Hardman does in New York with A Rod. Um, he's just really good at that. And also, like this kind of puts a pinch on the Lions too, because Wednesday's travel day, right? So they travel tomorrow. So like their entire game plan they had for, our offense has to completely change. So they can meet in the hotel about it tomorrow. I'm sure they'll have a couple meetings, but like this throws a wrench in their plans too, and their defense wasn't that great last year to begin with. So I don't think it's really going to like impede us from putting up points. I think we are going to start slow just because of the difference, but I mean, we actually have a lot more depth of wide receiver this year too. So like the difference between wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 6 for us is like marginal. Like they're all pretty solid. We don't have any just elite one guys. We'll see what Tony does this year, but no, he's got a lot of guys that throw the ball to. And they actually kept 7 receivers for the first time in Reed's tenure. So
So I forgot to mention that our very own Austin Gonzalez couldn't have joined us on the episode, so I have to be on at his seat to represent the Lions. Unfortunately, this is my little brother's little pee wee team, so I got something in stock for me. So uh, I gotta help debate for the Chiefs. I'm actually going to do this real quick, so that way we're on the same side and everything. Red versus blue, Crips versus Bloods. But but yeah, I'd be happy to defend for the Lions. I mean, now if I remember on First Things First, they put up 2 columns for week 1 through week 8, and then the rest of the season. Lions did not do great defensively. Week 1 through week 8, it was like a little over 30 points they allowed on defense, and that's not a Super Bowl caliber kind of team to allow that many points. But they started to come back, and I think it was around 20-ish points. Embarrassing Aaron Rodgers and the Packers last season, and now they got some weapons. So I'd be happy to see this being an over, well over 54 points. I think they have it right now. But if they stop Kelsey, if he's in it, uh, and Hutchinson stopping Mahomes, doing his little dinky left-handed passes, doing all that kind of stuff, it could be a close game towards the end.
he's been working on it. So hopefully that comes out here soon.
Yeah, behind the back kind of passes, I really hope they get that picked off. Hopefully Hutchinson will figure that out in the third quarter and end up picking it off, going for pick six. It'll be a nice little back and forth game for me.
No, yeah, I mean, they're playing Mahomes in week one. Like, just for reference, what he's had five. This will be his sixth week one game of his career. So let's see. Out of the first 5 games, he has a passer rating of 136.9 with 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So if you're betting against Mahomes on week one, that's probably not a good idea. And you're playing a very porous Detroit defense, which, like I said, should be better. I know they retooled their secondary a little bit. They had a lot of rookies last year that'll develop that good linebacker. They had, what's his name on the end there from Michigan, Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
So yeah, Hutchinson on the end. He did really well. He had like 3 interceptions and 8.5 sacks. So like, I mean, he's a dog. He's from Michigan too, so I gotta give him as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just don't bet on the Chiefs or don't bet against the Chiefs on week one. That's just kind of been the tenure for the past 5 years. And so he'll actually be Holmes is now the first quarterback in Chiefs franchise or the first since Lynn Dawson to actually be named the starting quarterback 6 years in a row. So I think he's going to hit his stride this year. I think this will be actually a great game for him with all these new wide receivers and not having Kelsey having to force him, to kind of develop some chemistry and some in-game chemistry with these other wide receivers. So I expect, I think we'll have at least 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's never had less than 3 touchdowns in week one either. So just
So
72%, 73% completion percentage through 5 games. It's ridiculous. It's video game numbers.
oh my gosh. So the key additions that I forgot to mention, Cameron Sutton, cornerback, who they picked up from Pittsburgh. I mean, he wasn't great with Pittsburgh, but he was there just in case. He was definitely good as far as cornerback blitzes, which I don't watch Lion football as much. I don't know if they'll put that in the playbook, but he's a great addition. Also, C.J. Gardner-Johnson from Philadelphia. So
yeah, no, like I said, they did some retooling on the secondary. I definitely, like I said, we were talking about this. The defense can't get worse.
yeah.
So I do expect them to have a better defense. I think they'll be closer to the middle of the pack this year. Mm-hmm. Their offense is going to put up points. Their offense was nasty last year. Derek Goff's underrated, honestly. Like, I mean, they trained him to win a Super Bowl, so it worked out for the Rams. But I mean, he was throwing the rock last year. They were putting up serious points, and they added Jameer Gibbs to their backfield, which one of the best, I think fantasy values out there right now too. I think he's going to go off. So, like I said, they'll definitely put up points. Everybody's built for a shootout. It's Kansas City. So,
yeah. What do you have the score being at?
I got it 34-24.
So just a little bit hitting that over.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think we're going to struggle. I don't think you're going to see a touchdown from Kansas City maybe until second quarter, but they were down as far as like everybody's. Oh, Chris Jones is out. Chris Jones is out. There's a couple big game that playoff game a couple years ago against Houston. We were down 24-0. Came back and scored 28 points and we're up going into halftime. And Chris Jones didn't play a snap during that game. So I think that's a workaround for us for sure. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit. We do have a new out for 6 games, 4 games now too, 4 or 6. Which is going to hurt us since our 2 starting defensive tackles. So I think we're going to be a little open in the middle. We probably have one of the nastiest linebacker cores in all of football, especially having Drew Tranquil to that this year, who led the Chargers in tackles last year. And he's the third best guy in the So, yeah, I just don't think it's going to be enough to overpower us.
Okay, so I'm glad. Yeah, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm actually wanting to go off script just a little bit. So you mentioned Chris Jones, contract disputation. I want your opinion. Try to be as unbiased as you can. Okay. If he had the contract, he was going to be in week 1. I got the schedule right here for the first 7 games, because I believe he said that if anything, he would come back week 8. So
He's gonna hold it out his weekend.
So I want to get your record prediction for the first 7 teams if Chris Jones was here. Okay, so if he was playing, Lions.
They're with or with. So let me make it simple for you. With or without Chris Jones.
Let's just think about with.
Yeah, I know. Either way, I think we're gonna go 8-0. There's no one really super scary in that frame. The Jets maybe like they're riding a hype train right now, but so was Denver last year, right? The Jets of this year are the Broncos of last year, but I think they'll do slightly better, right? There's all this unproven talent. Now I will say Garrett Wilson is obviously better than Cortland Sutton or Jerry Judy. Um, I think the Javonte Williams is probably damn near just. I mean, he was on a tear last year, dude, before he tore everything in his knee. So like the Broncos of last year, the Jets of this year. I think they'll do slightly better. I think I have like 10-7 or 9-8. But that's the only team. Maybe the Jags in week 2. I don't know. We kind of had their number last year, and that was when Mahomes hurt his ankle in the playoffs. Because I have the schedule up in front of me here. The Vikings, I think we got them. Broncos, they haven't beaten us since like I was a freshman in college. Uh, the Dolphins, maybe. So this is that. That's the week 10 game, right? He'll be back before that. There's no that front 7 or 8 that scares me with or without Chris Jones. I obviously
so Lions
and sitting everybody the last 2 weeks.
So Lions, Jags, Bears, Jets, Vikings, Broncos, and then Chargers is week 7. So with or without Chris Jones, you have them at 7-0.
7-0, whatever. The Chargers are also probably the second scariest team on that list.
The Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers are going to be good this year. There's no way they're going to have, like last year, they had historic levels of injury, right? Like almost unheard of levels of injury to all their stars. Their whole wide receiver core, Neil Mack was hurt, and then in the backfield, not Cena Gardner Johnson, J.C. Jackson, went down. Like historic injuries to them. And actually, Herbert was out was dealing with a rib injury for like 6 weeks that he played on, right? So that's why everybody's down on this year for fantasy. Everybody forgets he was hurt, that first half of the year. So like the Chargers are a really good team. I think Herbert's gonna have close to a 5,000-yard season. They're one of the teams I'm worried, and they added Quentin Johnson into that. They're gonna be tough. So like outside, like the Jets and the Chargers, the only two that kind of worry me there. Possibly the Jaguars. I think it's going to take them more than 2 weeks for them to start like firing on all cylinders.
Okay, so Patrick Grigsby back in the day. This was way before fantasy, and I know there's a big difference between just regular power rankings and fantasy football power rankings. But this little guy said that he was not going to touch an LA Charger in fantasy football, but you have them being one of the best.
Oh yeah, and guess how many wide receivers from the Chargers I have in all 3 of my leagues?
Zero.
Same with the Chiefs, though, right? Now I did draft Scott Moore in a super late round in one of them, but like it's the same way. I think he has too many weapons. I think it's going to be too hard to pick who's the guy week in, week out. I think Keenan Allen for 8 to 10 targets. If Keenan Allen goes down, then I'll look at maybe trading for Mike Williams or maybe even pick up Quentin Johnson or something like that. But right now, there's too many mouths to feed. Not only that, but
Okay.
Here has 100 plus catches. That's ridiculous. Like
yeah, so you're just saying that he's going to spread the ball out to where there's not a true wide receiver 1.
Herbert is the only Charger I would have on my fantasy
list. Not even Eckler.
No, I'm actually out on Eckler. I think he's gonna everybody's like, oh my god, he's gonna he had his historic level. His touchdowns are going to come back to the mean, right? Like he won't have that many touchdowns, and also there's no way Herbert's entire wide receiver core gets hurt again 2 years in a row, which is why he got fed so much, right? Like once everybody gets back, like you saw some of his touches go back. Now you add Quentin Johnson into that, right? Like there's no way Herbert is getting as many touches, and also Herbert was hurt last year with his ribs, so he's checking the ball down a lot more. None of that will happen again, and not at the level it was last year. So I'm out on that. I would maybe grab Eckler at like maybe at the end of the second, mid to end of the second, maybe. But I mean, he'll never fall there. Like I don't see that doubling up. I think he's going to be a bust this year for where he's being drafted. Not overall, but where he's being drafted. But compared to his
Uh,
age.
Okay, so you had, if I remember correctly, you had the Chiefs winning this one 34-24. I see this being like a 31-27. I think Lions will win or will be winning with 2 minutes remaining, and Mahomes just figures a way to score as usual. I don't like hearing myself say that. Mahomes, I swear, he finds a way. I respect his game. I respect the creativity he has with the ball, but at the same time, I just don't like the guy.
Hey,
I,
you're
I
watching
just
greatness, brother. Just enjoy the ride.
my gosh, I'd rather see Tom Brady come back for another year. All right, so
Come back. That would be awesome.
no, the
Beat him and
greatest comeback. No,
get a little bit even.
no, greatest comeback would be Ben Roethlisberger. Even to see Kenny Pickett. No. Kenny Pickett gets hurt. Kenny Pickett gets hurt, and then everybody expects Trubisky to come back, but then you see Ben Roethlisberger. No. You see Ben Roethlisberger come out the tunnel with Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. That would be some ish right there.
Like some Undertaker music or something.
No, because with Ben's podcast, he drinks beer. That would be perfect for him to just and then just starts throwing friggin' 50-yard bombs to George Pickens.
Maybe
Hey,
somewhere in an alternate universe right now.
hey, it's just a thought. let a guy dream. All right. So
I know much Kenny Pickett.
God, I love me some Kenny Pickett, no homo. All right, so I'm gonna have you start this out. Uh Next topic is our top 5 teams coming into the NFL season before week 1 even starts. Grigsby, who do you have starting at number 5?
You go first. All right. Number 5. I actually do have the Detroit Lions. I think they're going to be tough this year. I think their defense can be worse. Right? They had what a top 3 offense in the league last year in points per game. At least they did through most of the season. Like, dude, they are. I feel like I've seen everybody is viewing them as potential NFC North winners or playoff team. Haven't seen too many playoff predictions that don't involve the Lions, at least as a wild card. So like I think I say surprised, but it sounds like everybody's on that train, right? Everybody's ready to bite some kneecaps off. But no, yeah. So I have the Lions at 5. I think they are going to be tough. They're going to score a lot of points. They get Jameson Williams back in week 6. I mean, like I said, they retooled that secondary, which was like their big problem last year. Number 4, I got the 49ers. I still have a question mark on if Brock Purdy is going to be that dude. I know he did really good last year. It's hard to like Mr. Irrelevant come in, do that, and then repeat that. And it sounds like I think I just read some right before we got on here. It looked like Nick Bosa is coming back for a while. So, that's going to be a big hit on their defense. I know they are also historic with injuries too. But like, regardless of all that, they still have one of the best rosters in all of football. They have the best linebacker core in all of football. They have the best linemen in all of football. They're going to be loaded. They have Funga or whatever, back. I mean, they got some dogs on their team, and they have probably most elite skilled players in all football too, including wide receivers, tight ends, the whole. Now I did see Kittle is already out. I hope you don't have Kittle in your fantasy drafts, dude. Do you? You do, don't you?
No, I don't, but I know which
Oh,
which
okay, yeah. So yeah, he's out growing already. So yeah, they have some issues, but they are still will be, and like that division's not as strong. Like 2 or 3 years ago, that was the best division of football, like without a doubt. And this year, there's a lot of question marks around a lot of teams. So I think they'll do well in their division. So I have them at 4. Number 3, I have the Bills, just because I like kind of hyping up Bills fans and making them think they're good. Just so they fall is just that much sweeter, kind of like Stephen A with the Cowboys. But But so yeah, they'll still be good. They have great defense. They have great offense. Did add. No one's really talking about this too, which I picked them up in almost all my fantasy leagues. Like late, they got trade as a tight end. They drafted him in the first round. They're gonna use the crap out of him. So they got Gabe Davis coming back. They're gonna be tough. And then I got Eagles at 2. They didn't really. We'll see what their schedule looks like this year. I know, like last year, everybody's hyping up their defense because they didn't face a lot of like elite level quarterbacks, and every time they did face an elite level quarterback, they had problems. Right, their defense did. So, like, I still think, I mean, like, dude, they're probably going to break the sack record this year with all the players they continue to add to the D line. So, their defense is going to be super nasty, I think. And like they didn't do anything to get worse over the offseason. So I still got them at 2. And then I got the Chiefs 1. Just till further notice, that's a team to beat.
All right. So I like it. Lions, I don't want to put them in the top 5. It's almost like a Pittsburgh Steeler kind of thing. Like I want them to be the dark horse. I want them to be the team that nobody talks about, and then out of nowhere they are not only making it to the playoffs, but they're winning the division. So because of that,
already that nobody's really talking about the Steelers. I saw people that got was a wild card. Like the Lions are already out of that category. Just because of the division they're in. I feel like they're in the AFC
just
East.
because of the division, yeah.
Different.
So because of that, I'm putting the Jets in at number 5, mainly because of what I haven't really seen in any team besides the Steelers. This is very unbiased of me, but the Steelers' chemistry is ridiculous with Kenny Pickett. It's the same with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. If anybody's seen Hard Knocks, just the chemistry with Garrett Wilson and Dalvin Cook being a late addition, Aaron Rodgers, hell, he even has a freaking handshake with Sauce Gardner. I mean, the chemistry is there, and I believe chemistry is what NFL teams need nowadays to pick up wins. That's Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. That was Mahomes with Hill at the time. I mean, it has to be there. But that's them at 5. And it's almost the same. No, actually, number 4, I have the Bengals. Despite Burrow and his little calf strain, even though that should be a lingering kind of injury, but it's almost the same thing. Chemistry is there. Chemistry is there. Once he's healthy, he's just ridiculous with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and even Tyler Boyd. Defense could be better, but if you have a healthy Joe Burrow, that would be pretty nice.
They've lost on defense too.
Yeah.
Bills have a more cohesive like unit. Yeah, the Bengals have lose some places on defense.
Yeah. But I got 49ers just because their resume in the past years, even Brock Purdy, I don't believe in him, but we'll see. I have him at 3. I got the Eagles at 2 and the Chiefs at number 1. I think just the 2 teams that represented their conference in last year's Super Bowl, they got to be number 1 and number 2. So it's I don't know what the Eagles defense is going to look like this year with a lot of people leaving there, but you still got to just believe in, that dynamic trio and Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith, and even Dallas Goedert. That's a pretty nice squad you got there on offense.
And the best offensive line of football.
Yep. That, and I'm really surprised that Eagles were that far down for fantasy football.
Yeah, that's how I think the defense is going to be still this year. That D line is going to cause some friggin' problems for people.
All right. Now, with that being said, let's get down to the next topic, which are, we're sports bettors now. We like to consult with each other on, hey, who do you got? What's the over on this? Because I'm gonna take that no matter what. I'm gonna go. I'll go first. It's pretty easy. I think with the first game of the NFL season, there's going to be a lot of points. I see uh, the Lions and Chiefs over 54. I think that's easy money right there. Like I said, it's going to be a back and forth kind of matchup, and Mahomes is going to get it done with not only the win, but it'll be like 51 points, 52 points towards the end, and then he hits that over with some kind of pass and play like he always does. But I got Chiefs Lions over 54. I also have my boy. Uh, People think that I'm crazy and biased, all this kind of stuff, but Kenny freaking Pickett's gonna get the job done. Now, I'm not. I'll say sprinkle a little bit of money line, but the clear bet is plus 2.5. Nick Bosa is not going to be in. He's definitely not going to be in. It's contract disputes. It's not going to be within the week. So he's going to be gone. We don't have to worry about him and the defensive player of the year. Kenny Pickett's going to get the job done and at least have a close matchup with the 49ers. Also, I got Dolphins and Chargers. There's no defense whatsoever from these two teams. So I got the over 51 points for the Dolphins and Chargers. Next up, I have the last game of week 1, and that's Jets plus 2.5 against the Buffalo Bills. Like I said before, the chemistry's there. Whereas Josh Allen, I don't think his chemistry and his connection with Stephon Diggs is right where it should be. So there's going to be some kind of turmoil going on with that team. So, and especially with it being in New York, they're going to get the job done. Plus 2.5. And last but not least, I got the Jags at minus 5.5 going against Indianapolis Colts, mainly because of Jonathan Taylor being gone. You don't know who the replacement is for the Colts. So I got Jags minus 5.5 with Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. The list goes on and on. They got some dogs, and especially in the backfield. So it's probably going to be like a minus 12 for me. I think it's going to be double digits in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty solid, actually. I think I agree with most of that. Uh, I do got Jags money line. I think the Jags are going to Jags it. I don't think they're going to cover, right? I think they are going to win. I just think that's my lock of the week, right? Just on straight up picks. I actually agree with you. I got the Detroit Kansas City. The over 54. I think that's going to be an easy one. I think even without Kelsey, like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to start slow, and both teams are going to put up a lot of points. So definitely that's going to hit pretty easy. And then this is kind of my sleeper pick. I got the over on the Arizona Washington game. So it's over 38 right now, which is pretty low. And Eric Bieniemy is now the offensive coordinator from Washington. So I think you're going to see a lot of points from Washington. I think they're probably going to blow Arizona out of the water. But I think Arizona's still going to put at least 14 up, at least 14, 17 points up. Enough to hit that over. But that's my sleeper. I think they got some nasty weapons on the outside. John Dotson's back, who was outpacing McLaurin there when he was healthy last year. You got McLaurin, you got Gibson, and Brian Washington Jr. there. So I just think that's just a lot of weapons, a lot of people to feed the ball to. We'll see how good Sam Howell really is.
Yep.
I do have Minnesota -6. I think they're going to smack the Bucks up. I think Kirk Cousins ain't playing around this year. You're going to see iced out Kirk all year. So he's due for a big game. And then I got Atlanta 3.5. And I think that's an easy dub. I think Atlanta. I think a lot of people are kind of skittish on Atlanta this year. I think Desmond Ritter will be better than Mariota was last year. And this Panthers, it's his first game, man. Bryce Young's first game. So they have a skeleton of Adam Thielen. So, and they have, Mingo's about their only other weapon on the outside. So I think I think Atlanta's going to crush it. I think Bijan's going to have a big NFL show, a big NFL opening day.
I like him. All right, and now we're gonna end off with my opinion, my favorite topic of capping at the bay, and that is cap or no cap. Pretty much, self-explanatory. If the statement is false, you say that is cap. I don't know if you got a hat near you, but I mean, I'm gonna play along with my little cap right here. We'll start with you. What's your cap or no cap?
First one, cap or no cap. Browns will win the AFC North.
What kind of question is that? Come on. That's cap. That's cap. That now, if you said that they would be fourth,
It depends on his over massages given during the season. Uh,
they're going to be fourth in the division, no question about it.
I think the Ravens will be last in the division.
It's going to be a toss-up.
The Steelers, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. Yeah. I think Steelers got a shot.
Wait. I need you to repeat that one more time.
I think the Steelers are going to win the North, or have a shot to win the North. Now, I don't think they're going to win it outright. I think they'll be tied. I think them and Cincy will be tied. But yeah, everybody's high. I'm not high on the Bengals this year, dude. I don't think, like I said, I think their defense is going to take a bigger slide than people anticipate. Right? They lost a lot of pieces. So I mean, they got rid of Eli Apple, so that may help them some. But yeah, I think I got the Steelers, Bengals, and Browns all being right within like a game of each other. I just don't see the Ravens staying healthy, and I don't see that new offense that everybody's like so high on. Like that offense was built around Lamar, right? That was completely designed to play to his strengths. That is not the case anymore, and I don't think it's going to play out well for him.
So I actually have the what?
Go ahead.
I actually have the same thing going on with the Bengals and Steelers. It's going to be a tie, but I think I got the Bengals winning it. I think in head-to-head, I think the rule is the next or the last head-to-head matchup, whoever wins that and it's a tie, it goes to that winner. And I think Cincinnati will split with Pittsburgh and they'll win the last meeting.
Be a Chiefs fan on New Year's Eve. They play the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll stay here and open some gifts and celebrate with my family for New Year's.
That would be a good game to go to at Arrowhead.
It would if the friggin' tickets would be $100 each.
All right, next one. Trevor Lawrence finishes as a top 5 quarterback PPR.
PPR. That's no cap. I'll go no cap on that because, quite frankly, not even just PPR fantasy football. He is a top 5 QB in my opinion. He's way above Justin Herbert.
I wouldn't put him way above Herbert, but he is. I think he is. I put him like 6. He's in that 6 to 7, 6 to 8 range for me. But I think he's going to take huge strides this year. This is second year. I don't really count his first year was kind of. He had an Ohio State coach, he's just not gonna work out well. But I think he will be the top 5 quarterback this year.
All right. And I'll go with mine. Is that it for you? That's it? All right. Cap or no cap, there will be over under 3.5 upsets in week 1. Now,
I go no cap. I think there's going to be like 6 or 7.
Really?
I would think so. Do you have any history on that?
So I do not, but I mean, at the same time, because it's week 1, there's so many spreads that are just, -1.5, -2.5. They're pretty close. But I said 4 at least would definitely be there'll definitely be 4 upsets. Steelers 1. I got What was the other one? I got Dolphins beating the Chargers for some odd reason. I don't know. Then I got Jets beating the Bills, and then I also got um, Raiders beating the Broncos, and they are at -3.5 for Broncos. So I think with Jacobs getting a contract and Devontae Adams, the squad's there that they could definitely beat Russell Wilson and Sean Payton.
It's not the question mark.
Yeah,
G.
yeah.
But no, I agree. I think, like I said, I don't think. I think the Broncos are not going to. I think they'll do better this year. Again, they can't really do worse. They'll score more than what is it, like 16 points a game or whatever they averaged last year. That's like horrendous. Well, what was the was that Thursday night game with the Colts, like 9-6 or something like that?
Oh my gosh. I remember being at my little brother's Pee Wee game and I was like, I'm waiting for these notifications to pop up for scoring plays. There was no, huh?
I said I would have rather have been at the Pee Wee game.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of upsets. It's just like college football. There's going to be some games that's going to surprise us. But with that being said, that is it. We got the Chiefs and the Lions Thursday night, and quite frankly, it's going to be a toss-up in my honest opinion. But Grigsby, I wish you the best of luck for you and your Chiefs. You better have that Patrick Mahomes poster right there beside your TV or wherever you're going to watch the game. But it'll be a nice one. Wait, what was that?
No, I just got a new TV. He'll be right by it.
Oh, for sure. You're going to have face paint and everything during the while you're sitting in the living room. But all right, that checks out for me. We will see y'all next week.
See y'all. Thanks for tuning in.